All right, everyone.
Hey.
Stacy. Yeah. This is amazing. 42 members. 42 members.
Wow.
Yeah. This is absolutely mind-blowing. And Dennis is going to have a whole section where he's going to talk about how he did that. I personally am completely blown away.
Wow.
So please look forward to the exciting sharing later of that. And yeah, this is a big deal. This is a really, really big deal. All right, let me see if I can. I know, it's just completely beyond. All right, now let's do spotlight videos. Who has, all right, everyone turn off your video. Let's start off with no videos. And let me again, okay, I'm gonna do it, and then actually I'm just gonna stop sharing so you guys can all see yourself. All right, everyone video off, every video. JC, Robin. All right, I'm gonna say something, and if you did this, then go ahead and turn your video on. I still see Winnie and Robin, if you guys can just figure out how to do it. All right, there we go. Okay, turn your video on if you have visited a club in your area. Woo! All right, Elliot, Teresa, Chuck, Stacy, Vicky, Cassandra, Regina, Ashley. All right, look at this. I love it how the division directors are turning on theirs too. Wonderful. Okay, is this everybody?
Yay, Brooke.
All right, I'm taking a photo. All right, good job, everyone. All right, next, turn off your videos. Okay, I saw one more. Enzo, good job, Enzo.
Yay, Eric. Yay.
Woohoo! Samantha. All right. You guys ready for the next one? Turn on your videos if you started entering your club visit report. What? 2 of them, Smita, JC, Winnie. Oh, you guys are overachievers. All right. Thank you guys so much. Let me tell you,
Elliot.
that report is really, really difficult. See the nods from Elliot? Thank you. It is actually really, really difficult. And so if you start early, you're going to be really appreciating yourself later because it is a bear to put it in. And if you start on it early, then you also will know what you're supposed to do. And that will make you better at it later. All right. Let's talk about Zoom. Now, I'm just going over some basic stuff today because we do get a lot of questions. And I just want to make sure you guys know this stuff. So if your club or you, if you're running a YLP, if you're running an officers meeting, if you're running a club, an area council, running a division council, you have the right to use Zoom. We're paying for this with the dues from our members. So this is our district Zoom. Everyone should be able to use it. So what you need to do is email us at info@D57TM. So I was coming here to show you the Google form. We are actually updating this. Ed, is this thing updated yet? To contact us?
It's over.
Okay. We are going to be adding another item to this that says create new Zoom meeting for me. So that's going to be updated. But anyways, email info@d57tm.org. and we'll get a Zoom for you. Right, Ed?
That's correct. We will.
All right, yeah, I had more stuff on the slide. So what we need, club name, or if you're doing an area council, you know, that meeting date, time, meeting length, and frequency. So these are all for you. Please take advantage of it because otherwise it's just going to go to waste. All right, Ed's going to fulfill your request. All right, contests. The trio actually meets every single week for an hour, and then I meet with other members individually for an hour or more. And we actually made a decision around contests earlier, but we did not get a chance yet to get this out there. We are going to be doing the following contests. International speech, woo. I bet you guys never saw that one coming. So that's the big one. We have to do that one anyways. And then we decided to do the evaluation speech. And we took some time, we debated it. We actually spent some time thinking about it and we voted anonymously. So these are the winners. So let's talk about the schedule for contests. January is when your clubs need to do their contests. It's really important for you to remind them about this and share the books. We do have a chief judge, so he will be putting out training a little bit later. But club contests they need to get scheduled in January, and you need to remind them because, December, right? It's all holidays and family. So they're going to forget. And then January will come and then it'll be a rush. And people need to qualify. So it's really important that they have finished their first 2 levels and pathways. The next is February for our area contest. We have put in the budget, each of you gets $25. Now, we may still be sheltered in place. George and I are monitoring the news very closely to figure out what's going to be happening. But if we're in shelter in place still in February, then you can use this for gifts for your people, your functionaries. And if we're in person, you can use this for catering. So $25 each. And then in April or March, try to aim for earlier in March, division contests, and go ahead and get those scheduled now. Why not, right? And if we're still, pick at least a date so then you can start recruiting your team. The venue, we just don't know yet. I know you guys all think George and I have a crystal ball, but you know what? They don't give us one of those when we become a trio member. So we have budgeted $100 per division, and that can cover if we're in person, food, venue, and if not, it'll be for gifts for your team members. And I don't think you need to promote it, but it could be for that. All right. Okay. And then May 1st is our district conference. Okay. So this has just been like we already have so much stuff going on. And then a bunch of people emailed me on Saturday morning. Oh, today's Saturday. It must have been Friday morning. Bet, where do I send these gift cards? Oh my goodness, Bet, I want to make sure you okay? Did you get abducted? Oh, I'm sorry to hear about your child being stolen. Right? I mean, I don't know what's going on, but this is not from me. Okay. So whenever you see things that say things like, I would like to ask for a favor that I hope you will oblige in, I don't write like that. Also, always check the request from. If it's not from bet@d57tm.org, then it's not me. All right. So if you don't know how to do that, I was actually going to show a picture of it. Let me just show you here. So let's look at this one. So when you're looking at an email, you click on this little button and then you can see who's it actually from, right? And you're looking for is it d57tm.org? Is this a real email address? That's basically what you're trying to do. And let me know, does anyone have any questions about that? Because it's really important that you guys don't respond to phishing scams. Because I will not be reimbursing anyone for hundreds of dollars of gift cards. Is everyone okay?
The interesting thing is when I tried to look who it was from, it would only give me your name. It wouldn't give me the email, and not until 3 or 4 correspondences did it finally let me be able to see that it was not from D57TM.
Mm-hmm. So you guys all have my text. If you ever see a weird email that's like, Bet is not asking me to do a club visit, just text me and say, hey, Bet, I'm getting this weird email. Just let me know if it's really you. Okay. I just don't want you guys to get fooled by this person. And in the meantime, George and I are working on a plan to make sure this doesn't ever happen again. Okay. I'm taking a lot of time for all these announcements. Proxies for International Business Meeting. Please remember and remind your presidents and VPs to sign the proxies to the district director. So the trio is actually spending hours and hours interviewing all these candidates and doing research. So it's really, really helpful if clubs can assign the proxy so that we can use all that research that we're doing and make it fruitful. Otherwise, we're just researching and we won't have any votes. So please go ahead and sign those. And Ed, is it possible we could put those screenshots somewhere on the website so people can find them?
Sure.
Awesome. All right. I want to remind everyone of the No Club Officer Left Behind. Get all your clubs to training. So our next TLI is on August 15th. It is almost sold out. George, What's the latest numbers on our TLI? I'll let you have a
It's
moment.
well north of 230 people.
Wow. All right. So remind your officers, so another friend of mine who's another district director in another district told me that only one area got this.
You went
So-
mute, Beth.
Am I on mute?
No.
I'm not, I can't. George,
We can hear you.
You're
George,
fine.
it's you.
You're fine.
It's you, George. Believe me, this happened to me the other day. All right. Let's talk about the mini success plan. We did introduce this last year and it was a really big hit. Now, this is a way to get your club officers to really think about all the incentives that we're putting out this year, right? We have open houses, we've got newsletter, thank you, newsletters. We've got so many really cool things that we're planning to do this year, and we want them to take the time to do that. So this is a plan to make that happen. And I'm going to share with you this document, and the trio's just finishing up with Ed and Linda planning, getting the details on this, and we'll be sending this out. I want to send it out by Monday so you guys can forward this. I'm going to just email it to you. I'm going to forward it to you, and then you can forward it to your officers. So let's look at what are some of the things. So club name, what's the membership base? So this is looking at the DCP, and it's starting to think strategically, what do we need to do to be distinguished? Also, I've included this line. What makes our club special? So when they're doing open houses, they can start taking advantage of that. Sometimes clubs forget to have a regularly scheduled officer meeting. They are not going to be successful if they're not doing that. So this is helping them talk and have a conversation around when are they meeting. And if they already have that, then it's just easy to write it in. Then they can pick the dates of when they're holding their open houses. And we are going to reimburse up to $50 for 4 open houses in the whole year. Club quality. When's the last time you did Moments of Truth? When will you do it? And do you want a club coach? This is a hard conversation. A lot of clubs don't want to face the facts. They actually might need a club coach. We're going to announce dues renewal. This is really, actually, I think today, I'm asking my treasurer and anyone who knows this for sure. I think today we can start taking renewals. Does anyone know that for sure? I'm unfortunately not a treasurer.
I think it's August 10th.
August 10th? Thank you. Okay. So getting this thing, like when are they going to start asking for renewals? That's really, really important. And then are we doing it by PayPal? I think it's really important for everyone to get on PayPal. Okay. Now we have an incentive that the first 20 clubs in the district who get 8 membership renewals in get a $25 gift certificate. So make sure you tell people about that. That's an easy $25. And we're trying to give away the money because we have to. We cannot have money in our savings account. Okay, website, experience excellence, guest experience. So please, when we send this out on Monday, take a look at it. It's got a lot of really good stuff. It's going to make your job easy as an area director and division director because your team will be successful. All right, we're moving into our workshop around meet and greet. All right, we're right on time. Excellent. So I would love to have division directors just pop on their video. I'm going to stop sharing. So what worked and what didn't work? And maybe do you want to just go A to Z? And you guys can all probably turn on your cameras for this. You can just have a discussion. But okay, so does anyone want to be our timer? Otherwise I can do it. So it's a 2-minute speech and we really do need to stay on time. All right, A to Z. Robin?
Yes.
Ready? All right, I'll time us. What worked, what didn't work?
Well, we did pre-planning. So since we knew we were going to have this time to meet with the officers, we met before and we made a decision that we would take a poll, a questionnaire, and Stacy, Teresa, and David came up with a few questions. and 4 possible answers to each of these questions. Then we had our meet and greet. We had brief agenda, a brief introduction, because all of the area directors had already met their clubs. We did the poll questionnaire. We got the results immediately. Kudos to Stacy Smith, who put it all together.
Yay.
Then we had a breakout group. So each area director went into breakout rooms and they discussed the poll results. Then we came back together and went on our way. Later on, when you sent the email about the participants survey out, I forwarded that to the area directors, and then we had a discussion via email, via text, and how we think our meet and greet went. What do we do differently? We're going to not do anything differently. We're going to do the questionnaire again, since we got great results back, and then we're going to act on the results. Thank you for the meet and greet, and kudos to the trio.
Okay, that's, I just, wow, that's amazing. Okay, you did that all in 1 minute and 30 seconds. I just want you guys to see this is what excellence looks like. I'm extremely impressed right now. I didn't even get to put a card on. Okay, wonderful job. Let's move to B. Mark, tell us what worked and what did you wish you did differently?
Yes, good morning. Hopefully you can hear me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, thanks. So I think the process worked actually pretty well to have those various breakout session or various Zoom meetings. I think that was actually pretty good, although some people were confused in terms of, how to get to what session. I think I did have one club member who participated in Division B, although the club had moved to Division C. That's because there were changes in the district. But overall, it was good. The training was well prepared, well presented. There was a full agenda. There was no waste of time. The time was well used. We did have also mini introductions in the breakout session for the Division B, and we had time for open question. Good suggestion. Unfortunately, so what I could have done better and what we could have done better in Division B is make sure to have all the more of our area director presence. And there was some question about who is the area directors for the various clubs. So I followed up with an email to the officers of the club to let them know who the area directors were. So obviously it's in those times of meeting online, it's difficult, but it's maybe it'll take a little bit of extra effort to go and reach out to the various area directors and club officers so that everybody can participate and get the information that they need. So overall, I thought it was a pretty good session. That's it.
All right, thanks, Mark. All right, that was 148. Okay, ABC, Chuck. C for
Thank
Chuck.
you, Beth.
Go for it.
We took a slightly different tack in that we didn't have breakouts. We had 12, I think, of the 14 clubs in the division. All 3 area directors were there. And I think what we primarily accomplished was to go to each club president or VP of education and discuss what challenges that specific club had. So initially, I think we were going to do breakout rooms, but we took this approach for a few reasons. And we did get a lot of the clubs to offer some pretty interesting takes on what their challenges were. I think the biggest limitation was the 45-minute time limit. So that did impact it. I'd like to see it go into a longer format next time. Perhaps a lack of focus. As I said, it was primarily a meet and greet. Initially, we were going to meet all the officers, but we just went with the presidents and VP of educations and area directors. I think that going down the road, we could do the breakout rooms. I think that would be a good tack to take. The 2 clubs that weren't there, I would like to follow up with them. We had one club in particular that's kind of a quasi club. They meet more socially, and I think that's something we want to follow up. Dennis also discussed the Autodesk merge, which is pretty exciting. And we're also I'm working on starting another club within C9. So that was basically it. I think it was primarily a meet and greet and time to discuss some challenges the various clubs had. That's it for me.
All right, you guys are doing so well on time here. I'm really appreciative of that. Excellent. A, B, C, D, E. E is for Garrett.
You didn't do D.
Oh, you know what? I have it written down, and I was writing only one ahead. A, B, C, D. Guys, I know my alphabet. All right, A, B, C, D. Carolyn. Carolyn, you're on.
Thank you. I really enjoyed our division breakout session. What we were able to do was to introduce the entire Division D leadership team, which includes myself, all of the area directors, and the assistant directors. And it was our purpose to make sure that our club officers and everyone who attended knew who we are and what we are able to be willing to do to assist the clubs to be successful. So it was a fun activity. I asked the team for suggestions on what we should do, and what we did was meet and greet and had fun with that. And once again, it was the message that we were all in this together. Some of the feedback that I got was that they liked the fact that our session was upbeat and it was fun. They liked the new officer shares. The breakout session itself was wonderful. And what I wished is that we had more time to ensure that we got an introduction from all of the club officers. I think the session itself was announced a bit late for us to really plan a much better session. I hear what Robin did with the survey. Survey never came into my mind. But the point is, I think if we had had more time to really put our heads together to think about what we really wanted to accomplish in the meet and greet, we could have done that. But no regrets, because it was good. We had a great time. That's my report.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. So I like the reason why we're sharing knowledge is because each of us is going to get another idea on how to run the next one better. So now you have a new idea. Garrett, you're up with
Good
Division
morning.
E. Go.
How are you doing? I took the meet and greet extremely literally and did a meet and greet. The way that I did it in Division E was I introduced myself as division director, and then I asked the clubs to all turn on their cameras at the same time. So I went through about 15 clubs in my area, giving them about a minute or two each to talk about why their club is special. The idea being that in the virtual world, we're not differentiated by being geographically in one city versus another city. So it's more about what is unique to the club, its purpose, and why its members are there. And I think that people did enjoy talking up their clubs, what makes them unique and why they have fun together, what they accomplish together. The only problem was I don't think a few people got it, and I wasn't timing. So some people thought it was an opportunity to talk about themselves or tell a 3 or 4 minute story about something that happened one time in their club. And so a few clubs, probably 3 to 5 clubs, hogged about a third of the time, and I needed to be much closer on timing. The other thing that was mentioned in some private chat to me by some of the members was they wished that I had celebrated last year's accomplishments. They wanted to know who was presidential distinguished and who was select distinguished and on and on. I didn't have that information readily available. so that I depended on the clubs to announce any 2019, 2020 Toastmasters year's accomplishments. So perhaps if I would have had that available, that would have been nice, or known where to find that on short notice.
Awesome, Garrett. Thank you so much. Mr. Carl Cross from Division F. What worked and what do you wish you had done differently?
Good morning, everyone. So I am the division director for Foxtrot, or F. So we had a really good meet and greet. We got a chance to have all of the area directors introduce themselves. We had an opportunity for certain members of the different clubs to ask questions of their area directors. We got an opportunity for them to share kind of what they were doing, who they've met with, and then I got a chance to field some questions myself concerning the year and upcoming goals that we're working on. To make it better, I just started a new job on my civilian side of the house, and so I was doing things for work in the morning and didn't realize that I had missed the opportunity to log in, so I had to request to log in at the last minute. So I had Ashley take over for me until I was able to log in. So this time, for the TLI on the 8/15, I'm already registered and I'm ready to go. But that was really well. We got a chance to meet everybody, and then we just had our first area director meeting last Wednesday, and we have established our cadence to be the Wednesday before our DECM. So anything that we discuss here will be discussed at our meeting prior to the next DECM. But we had a good time. So thank you.
Excellent. And remember, Carl, that you can get a district Zoom. We actually just created a new Zoom for divisions.
I will be requesting that. I saw that today because I used my own and they cut me off after 30 minutes. So I need something with a little more length in there. So yep, I definitely will request that. Thank you.
This is here for you. All right, excellent. Thank you so much for sharing. And now let's go to A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Donica, look at your lovely house. Tell us what worked and what didn't work.
Good morning, Bet. Good morning, everyone. We had 3 of our 4 area directors, and then our 4th one joined right at the end. We took time to introduce them to each of the officers and asked them to share what their goals were this year, where they were from, which clubs, what they had done in the past, just to really connect. What we saw was that this was an opportunity for our area directors to meet the officers of their new clubs that they may not have known before. And I think all 4 of ours are fairly new in Toastmasters in general. And so it was a great opportunity to see faces. One thing that I wish I would have done is advertise the breakout session more to the club officers and have the area directors talk it up when they're talking to the clubs, because I think that we didn't have a lot of participation from clubs. They didn't realize what this breakout was going to be. They didn't realize that it was a good opportunity to meet. They just thought it was an optional. We had some of our clubs talk a little bit about any questions they had. We focused on pathways as well, what they needed to help get going, keep the momentum, and offered any pathways orientations that they need. We have a division meeting next Wednesday with all of our area directors. We're going to be brainstorming what we can do with the August 15th TLI.
Wonderful job. Thank you so much. Now we have 15 days till the next one. So all those learnings, take the time to plan like Carl's doing. Think about what you want to do, maybe add a poll. Remember, your technical host is there to help you. So if you come up with the stuff ahead of time, it will help you a lot. Okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. H is next. Is Catherine there? All right, we got 2 more reports. Catherine, you're on.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. So we had, for the breakout session, we had a brief introduction and 3 out of the 4 area directors attend. And so I first introduced myself, and then 3 area directors introduced themselves. And then after that, we took a poll to get more information about them. And then after that, I show a PowerPoint presentation on all the Division H clubs, where they distributed in the Pleasanton, Dublin, Livermore area, so that they know what 16 clubs are. And then after that, we're gonna open Q&A sessions. Overall, if there's something I could improve on, actually, it would be I could have done it differently, is to send them to a different breakout room section so that they can have a more focused direction with the area directors. And that's one. Number two, I think, is actually to improve my poll, because I use my poll using an easy poll, and that kind of separate to each question for one link. So next time when I do the breakout section, I could just create one poll from Google Docs so that they can just answer the question. So overall, that's my presentation.
Wow, these are so concise. This is amazing. Thank you so much, Catherine. Wonderful suggestions. You have time to plan. And finally, Kate.
Yes.
Kate,
Yes.
tell us what works.
Hi. So rising from the South Bay, we have 16 awesome clubs, and our goal was to make sure that we introduce them, because unlike the typical TLI where you're trying to figure out what room you're going to go to and what sign-in sheet you absolutely must fill out, we wanted to create a sense of community because among all the Division I clubs. So we had each one introduce themselves by turning on we went area by area and then clubs within those areas. As each club officer group turned on their videos, one was asked to give just a couple lines explaining why their club was unique. And we could see some pride coming out as each one gave it. And we learned some start out singing in their club meetings, others do yoga to start out their meetings. This was really a celebration of a wide range of how to do a Toastmasters club meeting. So that was a great thing. I think the issue for us was time. Time management was a problem. We didn't have a timer. We wanted to make it casual and chatty, and so that needs a tune-up. So we'll definitely be focusing on that. Also, we were worried about the attendance, put it in the chat and this and that. And I believe that the district that has, since you have ownership of the account, you could actually get the attendance report after the meeting. So we would ask that if it can be done, if we could capture the attendance a little more succinctly than having to chase it down line by line in the chat and participants group. So we're going to work on that. Going forward, we would also, with the makeup training, since both TLIs are full and we know we have a contingent that can't do weekends, that can only go on weeknights, we would wonder what can we carry over, what recordings, what information. So carryover of the TLI feel to the officer club meetings, again with that sense of community and tying that in, will be our goal. So we want some consistency so that they have all had the same experience.
Yes.
But the area directors are great. We just got our reorganization done by Toastmasters International a couple of days ago. So they've been out and about with their clubs. But I'm going to ask Burgess, Jeff, and Tao today if they have anything else they want to add.
Okay, unfortunately, we're out of time.
Okay.
So thank you very much, Kate. All right, now it's time to do a summary. And just very quickly, we're gonna brainstorm this together. So I'm gonna just summarize what I heard, because the thing is, we don't have tons of time at DECM. So I heard a lot of people said oh, I wish we had more time. Unfortunately, we just do not have more time. So that is definitely unfortunate. So I heard planning. It's not pre-planning, just planning. I'm gonna give myself 2 minutes here to just summarize. Planning ahead. I think that I heard everyone say that they had either planned ahead and everything went really well, or they wish they had planned. Another thing, so this is, to do. Another thing is timing during the session. So just find a timer, have them be the bad guy, right? All right, club, you did your thing. Thank you so much. Just have someone be the bad guy who's comfortable with that role. And then other things I heard were promotion, promote it before. So you guys doing your discussions with your presidents, go ahead and share that with them, that this is something, if they haven't been in training yet. Something I keep getting asked Lisa and George, is when will people know what the training, which officers haven't been trained? Do we have any stats on which officers will be trained?
Not yet. We're still cranking the data. We'll have it before long.
Okay, so that will help a lot. Another thing I heard is polling. So plan your polls ahead of time. If you do want to use Google poll or Google like spreadsheet forms, I think that is a really nice way. And George and Lisa, if someone wanted to use a Zoom poll, is that possible?
No, I'm sorry. It's not possible.
All right, there you go. So I would recommend use Google Forms for that. And I went to Garrett's and a little bit of Carl's. I really like the My Why, because getting our clubs to think about that is very important for success for all of us. So I really would love to somehow incorporate that. I'm not saying you have to do that, but I just think that's a really nice thing. Is there anything else that anyone wants to just add in like 20 seconds of what else really worked during the session, or that they heard that I didn't include here? Anybody? You can also chat it if you don't feel like turning your video on.
I think they said breakout rooms worked well.
This is Lisa. The breakout rooms are great. The thing that really is important, because of the time that you have to know who's coming, because you have to assign those people individually. So find a quick way to do it. And if you can do that efficiently, go for it. But that's the challenge with the breakout rooms in the sessions. Those of you that did it and did it successfully, it would be great if you could share how you prepped for that.
Yeah, does anyone, okay, so we had Robin. Robin, how did you manage the breakouts?
We had our technical host, who was also our area director, A1, Stacy Smith, did the whole thing.
All right, Stacy, can you tell us how did you do it?
I think the quick solution is to have people rename themselves with their area before their name, so you can look at a list at a glance, prep the breakout rooms by area, so you can quickly assign people to those. When people didn't do that, we had a delay.
Got it. This is brilliant, guys. Thank you so much.
If they rename themselves, then it just goes really fast.
Mm-hmm. And in fact, if everyone can rename themselves right now, because we are going to be doing breakouts later, so that would also be helpful. All right. Thank you guys so much. Is there anything else I just missed that I really want this to be in our notes here in our recording?
I would say one thing that I noticed, Beth, and that is the different breakouts within the divisions had focused on different things. Some clubs asked the question, what's the best thing about your club? I should say some directors. And then in our breakout, we talked about the challenges that clubs might have. So for future meetings, it might be helpful to designate some of these topics, the best things, the worst things, and formulate something along those lines.
Yeah, I think it's either one is good. And as long as you just pick one and then go for it. And this is just the meet and greet, because hopefully you guys will have division councils and area councils and other things, social things that you guys are doing. All right. So thank you guys. That was really helpful. Let's go ahead and go to an announcement from Lisa. She does need more people to help with the next TLI, and I just want to give her a moment to do a shout out. Go ahead, Lisa.
Hey everyone, so I am in need of a Sergeant of Arms trainer. Needs to be someone who has had the position and is a trainer or has that background. We also need tech hosts, and not only do we need a few more tech hosts for TLI, because you're all going to be having your division makeup trainings, and SAAs are tech hosts in meetings. This is an opportunity. We have 2 nights of training. They will only need to go to 1 to get people staffed up for your own needs going forward. And then we also have a need for room monitors who act as the timer. They introduce the speaker, and they are co-host and can help out with the chat rooms. And we need probably about 10 of those. So we only need for TLI like 3 to 5 more tech hosts, but we have training available. I encourage you to send people to that training for your purposes.
Wow.
There you go.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you so much. And now I'm going to go to George, and we're going to talk about makeup training. So, George, do you want to talk about the plan? And then I will share the agenda. Actually, I'll share it while you're talking.
Okay, great. Happy to do that. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hello.
Morning, George.
So as usual, we're going to have makeup trainings organized by you, the division directors, that will take place after the second TLI. The second TLI, as Lisa said, is August 15th. And then we are asking you division directors to organize makeup training. Now, the way we're going to do those is we will make available a Zoom session for you. So you give us a schedule it ahead of time, tell us when you want the time, and we will give you time. Now, makeup trainings are obviously a little simpler. You're organizing yourself. For TLI, there's about 25 people in the background making this all happen. If you can find 25 people to help you with your division training, okay, but we'll give you a Zoom session. You need to tell us ahead of time and we will schedule it for you. You need to arrange for your tech host, and Lisa may be able to help you find someone, but if you've got someone in your division, that's fantastic. Because you're going to have one Zoom session, you'll still need to do the 7 officer trainings in parallel. So you can use breakout sessions for that. That says, though, that inside those individual sessions, president, VPE, et cetera, you won't have the ability to break out. But again, makeup trainings are typically a lot smaller. You don't have nearly as many people. I think you can handle that. So we will not announce, we would ask you not to announce the dates for your division training ahead of time, because we really, really want to get people to the TLIs, because the TLIs are where we have picked from among the very, very best trainers in the entire district. It went very well this time, and it's just a richer, better experience if they can get there. It should be approximately the same amount of time. Do the same kind of things. Obviously, you don't need a division meet and greet, I guess. So Bet has now on the screen the makeup, the training plan, the agenda we're asking you to all use. So I'll turn it back over to Bet to talk about the content that you'd like to see happen at each of these division trainings.
Thank you, George. I am extremely obsessed with training. I think that would be a fair statement.
Bet, let me answer Robin's question. She
Okay,
just
go
asked.
for it.
We encourage you division directors to work together and cooperate. Since we had so many people going to TLI, we had 300 and some odd people at the first TLI. We're already over 230 registered for the second TLI. I'm sure we're going to have close to 400 again. So you aren't going to have a huge need. I really encourage you division directors to get together 2 or 3 at a time to organize. I do not believe we need 9 distinct division trainings. You can hold one yourself if you want to, but I kind of feel like we probably don't need them. So it would be great for you to work together, kind of spread the work out. Back to you, Beth.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad you're monitoring the chat. Okay, I'm obsessed with training, and that's why Julie and I had the best time last year working on everything. So this is the agenda. Okay, this is really important. You're each of you who are division directors. The reason why you stepped up is to go to the next level. And you probably see the management philosophy here is I'm really empowering you, and I hope everyone's okay with that. But you are going to do your keynote at the division. And if there's 3 divisions working together, you guys can work out who's doing it, or if you're dividing it up, whatever you want to do. But basically the keynote that Julie, George, and I did at TLIs, you guys are doing that. We'll have slides for you. We'll have the content. but that is going to be your job to step it up, give a keynote in front of your division. So own that, embrace it, be ready. And then we're going to give a nice, good chunk to roles and responsibilities, because that's what we're here to do. I've built a break-in to theirs, not ours, but. And then breakouts. I think the breakouts are really nice. And this is where you're going to need to have a good technical host to help you manage that. So how you get people to figure out that's going to be an interesting challenge. And if anyone has good ideas, I'm seeing that Linda has some ideas on how to manage breakouts. But these are the same breakouts that we had in the TLIs, and I think they're really important. Corporate clubs are their own special animal. Pathways, a lot of people need help still. Zoom, some people are just trying to make their Zoom meetings more fun. And then how do you run open houses and grow during a pandemic? So that's the makeup training. Is there any final questions on makeup training? Oh yeah, yes, I have a whole slide for it.
Yeah, Bex, this is Savita. I just want to ask one question about the Sergeant at Arms training. I know I didn't go to that one. Are we including tips on how to manage Zoom for the Sergeant at Arms? Is that kind of going to be rolled into that role?
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to let Lisa and George talk about that. I do believe so, but I'm going to just make sure.
Yes, it is.
Okay. I would be very interested
It's very,
to go to
it's
that
the very basics, because in meetings, you're not often using breakout rooms and those things. So it is letting people in the room, silencing people, all the very minor but important things about how Zoom works.
Okay, because all the traditional work is pretty much gone now that we are virtual, right?
Exactly. That's why they're doing the same thing. They're setting up the room for people to come in, be present, and do it. So it's the same thing, just in a virtual environment.
Okay. If there is any kind of a slide or a write-up, can that be shared? Because every club can benefit out of it.
We'll share what we have, but I would recommend, Linda Patton did a master class on Zoom things, and I would recommend that you start right with that, because it's already a resource. It's available. It's a good resource, and everyone should watch it. We also are having, Dave Blum is putting together a very short video of Zoom basics that we're going to be using in TLI, and that will be another good resource.
Thank you, Lisa. I'll reach out to you if I have more questions. Thank you.
Yeah, and also we have a new master class chair who's working on material. So if you have things you really want us to cover, please email masterclass@D57 and George and I and Julie, and we can just find a venue, because we want to get this information out. If people need things, please let us help. All right, we're moving on. Okay, Kate.
Yeah, I just had a couple questions. Is there an intent that we use the recordings of the specialty sessions? And can they be, say for example, the Zoom meeting one, or the building your membership and the pathways? Can the people at the officer makeup training go ahead and use those? Can we use those for our sessions? Or is the intent to get trainers all over again?
George,
do
you
and
want to?
Lisa.
Hey, Jeff, I'll talk about training has to be live.
Okay.
Training has to be live. Pre-recorded may be informational, it may be useful to people, but it simply does not count for training. That's a Toastmaster rule.
Right. I know it goes by how many minutes as well. So
I just want to jump in on and say that, because I want to be careful that we have not committed, nor have they, the trainers that did those sessions, to do your division sessions. So we can make that material available to you. I think they would be happy to share their slide decks with you, but I want to make sure that we're not saying to all of you that those 4 people that did those breakout sessions are making themselves available to you. Maybe they will, but it's certainly not our call to sign them up for that.
right, and again, just going for saving time and consistency, maybe going forward, we could contract with those different instructors to also do some of the makeup trainings so that we do have some continuity and less work on the divisions. I know it's a growth experience to put together officer training. I realize that. The other thing is the speakers bureau that's being formed. It's sort of like what we had Train the Trainer before.
No. Train the Trainer is its own program, and we have a really awesome thing planned for that. Unfortunately, we just didn't have any time to talk about it. But yeah, we have a speakers bureau, which there's an announcement on the website.
Yeah,
it's
it
just
mentioned
too much
training
for me to go over.
Yeah. Okay.
If someone wants to be on there as a trainer, that's one more service that they can offer. But speakers bureau is for people in their district who want to speak outside the district.
Right.
So
it just happened to mention officer training in the write-up on the website. That's why I brought it up. I didn't want to be in conflict.
No, we have an amazing Train the Trainer program that Ashley and George are working on. I am blown away by the level, and it's going to be online. So you can imagine there's going to be a lot of new things that are learned there.
Thank you.
All right. Any final questions on training? And Linda, you can go ahead and start getting your screen set up while I'm just taking any final questions.
Hi, Beth. This is Marissa.
Hey.
When do all of the makeup trainings need to be completed?
Okay. So this is where my dyslexia kicks in. Is it September 30th, George? I'm trying to remember it. I know I have to go look at the district handbook.
Right, the last day is August 31st, the last day for training.
August 31st.
No, not August 31st. Is it August 31st?
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh boy.
Yes.
All right, well, you guys have 15 days to get all of that makeup training in. That is tight.
Schedule them now.
Definitely pick your dates and start communicating with the team so that as soon as TLI happens, you guys are ready to go, because that is tight.
The other thing that I would recommend is that all divisions have had makeup trainings in the past. You've used trainers. I recommend that you gather the names of the trainers that you've used and start using those resources across all divisions.
Definitely.
This is Donica. I'm happy to help coordinate.
Thank you. Please do, Donica. And I saw Stacy. Do you have a question, Stacy? I just want to make sure.
That's okay.
All right. All right, guys, we're moving to the next section. Linda, take it away. Take it away,
thank
Linda.
you so very much.
And let me just introduce you. Linda is our finance manager, ladies and gentlemen, and she comes with great qualifications, and I have been working really, really close with her. I'm very impressed. And we're doing a big change. We're moving to Concur. So this is a big deal, and there's going to be a lot of questions. So please be ready to take notes. This is very important for you guys all to be here and present for this. Take it away, Linda.
Thank you so very much, Beth. It is an honor to be here in front of all of you, illustrious Toastmasters, division directors, area directors, and members of the trio. Thank you so much for asking me to be here. And to be honest with you, this is actually new for me, but I'm having a great time with it. So first of all, how many of you love money? You raise your hand. Thank you. Do you realize that as a division, we don't spend enough money? Isn't that a shock? You would have thought that we spent more than we needed to, but that's not the case. We get from Toastmasters International 25% of the dues that are sent to them. Now, before the increase in dues, that was about $45 for 6 months. We got $9 of that. And if you think about it, we have 150 clubs and 6,000 members approximately. That's a lot of money that we have to spend. And clubs are leaving money on the table. I don't want that to happen this year. I want to give this money back to the clubs and back as fast as I possibly can. And awards and incentives are the way for them to recognize their success. This was the list of awards and incentives from last year, from 2019-20. And I can tell you that not every club entered or won. And that's a shame, because all of these clubs can do this. It's not rocket science. And I want you as area and division directors to encourage your clubs to go for it, because it's money that they can use for their clubs, for their members, and for interesting things for the club to do. So why are we moving to Concur? First of all, how many of you already have a Concur account? If you could hit your reaction button. And I'm not seeing a lot. Danica, I'm so glad. Thank you. 2 people. Okay, 3. Any more? Okay. What I want to do this year is to really get you your money faster and more directly in both your club accounts as well as your accounts. I don't want you to have to wait for us to write checks. Now, when we were seeing each other in person, it was easier, but now we need to drive. For example, yesterday, I needed to do a check, and I had to drive to Oakland to get Bet to sign it. And because it was a large check, I also had to drive, not quite to Fremont, 880 and 92 to see George to also get it signed. So that takes longer than had we been able to do it on Concur, when it could almost instantly be approved and the money gets dropped electronically into your bank account. There's no need to wait or to check on the status of the approval. There's no need to wait for the postal worker to decide to deliver it to your mailbox. And you no longer need to make a special trip to the bank to deposit that check. So it saves so much time and effort on both sides. So how do we start? This is on the website under District Tools. If you click on that, you'll see a drop-down menu, and one of the entries is getting your Concur credentials. The very first thing you need to do is to complete this sign up. When you hit submit, it comes to me. I do a spreadsheet, which I then send on to Toastmasters International, and from there they approve it, send it back to me, and then I can send you your instructions. And I'm sorry, I can't monitor the chat, so if you're asking questions, I can't do that and present. I'm sorry. All right, so Concur account login. When you get your account, you'll get an instruction sheet from me. It's a full page of what you need to do. The key is, when you're first time into Concur, you will activate it by putting in your Toastmasters identification number. Now, this is 8 digits that Concur wants, and many of our member numbers are not 8 digits. Mine isn't. If you don't have 8 digits, then add leading zeros to make 8. So it's those 8 digits plus @toastmasters.org. Your password the first time will be welcome. Got it? Everybody's will be welcome. At that point, click sign in. And it'll bring you to this page. This is the home page. And you will spend a great deal of time here. We have expense, which is where you'll do your starter report, your profile, which you'll need to do the first time you go in, and I'll show you some things that we need to do here. Starter report will probably be the most often thing used. And then to check on things, you can look at what tasks do you have and any open reports still available. So again, instantly can check on where your report is in the deep skinny of things. Okay, moving on. Okay, we did that. All right, so we're going to start with profile, which is the blue button to the right. And there are 2 things that you need to do in that first session. One is your bank information, and 2 are expense preferences. So key here is to put in the routing number of your bank. And as you can see, they also give you a sample check. So in case you don't know where your routing number is, they show you where it is. The second is your bank account number, which goes here. And you're going to retype that bank account number over here. Then the bank name, the branch location, the account type. And that's all you need to do here. Hit save and you're off and running. If you have any questions, please do email me at linda@d57tm.org, and I'll be happy to answer your questions as quickly as I can. You can also call me at 925-954-3239. So here is where you would create a new expense report. You're doing okay? The first thing that you're going to do, and this is the only
their attendance.
I'm sorry?
We're just doing attendance in the chat, so don't worry about the chat.
Okay, thank you.
You're probably wondering why it's pinging like crazy.
Yeah, it's like, I can't deal with this. There are lots of things I can deal with. That is not one right now. Okay, so the report name, please do me a favor and begin the report name always with D57 and then the descriptor. So in this case, it's October expense example, and you can put a comment over here to define what it is. In this particular case, it was an expense for advertising and mileage. Also key is that the report date matches the date on your receipt. Otherwise, I will kick it back to you. Click next. In this case, we're doing an expense around advertising. There is a list of all of the advertising types that you can use. A lot of what you're going to use as a district director and area director will be incentives. So you click on that, and then you will, when you do that, you will populate the rest of these fields, which is, it's an advertising expense, what was the transaction date, and again, that must match your receipt. What was the purpose? Vendor name, city of purchase, it's always cash out of pocket. What's the amount? The reporting code, and again, there's a drop-down menu that will show you what that would be. There was no event period. The district is your district and a subsidiary. If it's an area, you do the same thing for an area, and then save it. Okay, please, I will double check your coding. However, if again you have any questions, please do send me an email or give me a call. This one also had mileage on it. We're not going anywhere these days, so it's doubtful that you will have mileage to visit clubs or whatever it might be, and therefore I will not spend time on what the backup is for this particular one. Okay. All right, you'll notice that there is a yellow, this is not green, I'm sorry, it's not blue, it's green, it's yellow. And that's because it needs a receipt. And so you can click on available receipts and it will pop up a place where you can upload your receipt. So it's attach receipt images. And at that point, you would check which one you're attaching the receipt for. In this case, it was for advertising. Then click Browse, at which point you can go to your own computer, pull the receipt that you scanned in here, and at that point, you upload, and it uploads into the files that were selected. at which point you should be done. And you notice that this went from yellow to blue. So now you have everything that you need for that particular expense. If you want to see what image was actually uploaded, because I don't know about you, but sometimes I click on the wrong scanned item, I can check it to make sure that it was the correct receipt and then submit report. I am going to ask you to do one major thing for me when it comes to receipts. When you're doing your shopping, whatever it might be, please, if you're going to Costco to do something for an area meeting, or you're bringing food for a club or whatever it might be, please do not combine what you're doing with Toastmasters to what you're doing personally. You know, you go in and you get the stuff that you need for the meeting or whatever it is, and you go, oh, gee, I could really use. Please do separate those. It makes it easier for me to check the receipt, and it's a much cleaner receipt than if you mix it with your own personal items. So I thank you ahead of time for doing that. It really does help all of us. When you hit submit report, it also brings up this final review that you certify. This is an expense that is of official business to Toastmasters, that you put in the required images, that you have not received reimbursement from somewhere else, and that if there is an overpayment, that you will send me the money back. So you accept and submit, and then you get a confirmation that your receipt and your expenses were submitted, and it is a high level look at your submitted expenses, at which point you are complete, and this gets sent off to me, and I get a little note that says I have an expense to approve, and I do look at those every day and approve those that come through. If I have a question, I will send it back. So in your active reports, you'll see this one that we just submitted, and it is pending approval. This one has not been completed yet. So it would be a place to maybe look at and see, did I not have the receipt? Why hasn't it been submitted? Do know that if the expense is over $500, that does require more than just my approval. So once I approve it, it gets sent on to Bet, and if necessary, to George or Julie. Okay, you submitted your report, and as you can see, I returned it to you. The reason was that the mileage rate was incorrect. Please change it to the standard for IRS. It could also be that the dates don't match, the amounts don't match, whatever it is. Hopefully, I will not have to return these to you. I would like I said, to get you your money as quickly as possible. I know how much that means to you. I will also include comments so that you know what it was that needs to be fixed in order to send it back to me. You can also comment here as well, should you need to do that. That's pretty much all I have to say about Concur. If you would like some additional training or want to just go through the guides, Toastmasters International does have some quick interactive simulations that you can download. There are also some additional training videos to look at, but again, I might be your better source, and if you could email me at linda@d57tm.org or give me a call at 925-954-3239. Questions? Beth, do I have time for questions or not?
Yes, we have time for questions.
Okay, then I can stop my share.
Linda, this is Donica.
There we go.
Yes, Donica.
Is the idea to have all the club officers at every level trained in Concur?
I'm only training treasurers right now. in the TLI, it would be ideal to really train the person who's going to be requesting incentives, reimbursements, whatever it might be, which could be the president and that kind of thing. But at the moment, there are no plans to train other than treasurer.
Do you plan to record your training so that we can share that with the club officers who would like to be reimbursed?
It was recorded as part of TLI. Again, I don't know whether we can tease that out. I'd be happy if you could. Otherwise, I can record it separately and have that available for folks on the site. Yes. And no, I don't expect every officer in the club to have a Concur account. The clubs only need one that by whoever's managing it. And of course, the area directors and division directors are each. I would like to suggest that you have one as well. Anyone else?
Linda, this is Dennis Dawson.
Yes, Dennis.
You had several examples that mentioned mileage, and as you saw in the example, it said 57 cents per mile. I think that everybody can see if everyone turned in a receipt to visit one of their clubs, that would use up all of the district budget for the year. So I'm hoping that we're not actually going to reimburse anybody's mileage this year. And if it were something that it would be approved by the trio, certainly in advance.
Hey guys, let me just take that one. Mileage does not apply in our district. It might if someone was in Division G and they had to drive up to Eureka. This is for districts that are in like Alaska, where they have to fly a plane to go visit their club. Okay, this is, or I guess it wouldn't matter. But no. I'm just saying, like, this is an example that she got out of the training from Toastmasters. It's not the best example for. We're going to be doing club reimbursements. If you promote your contest, not really contest, but other events, you can submit it. This is for incentives. Okay, yeah. So the mileage one is just not really relevant for us. Although Kevin and I, if you did go up to Division G, we could have expensed that mileage. It's just, it's not normal. It's unusual.
And with us being in COVID-19, I'll get you in just a second, Kate. You're not going anywhere. So even if it was, we were doing mileage on a regular basis, we're not doing that. Okay, Kate, Michelle, and then there are two others. Kate?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure if the Sergeant at Arms or Secretary or somebody else buys supplies, what they should do is turn in the reimbursement form like they used to do.
No.
This is replacing the old system.
Okay, so then the treasurer would take their receipts, turn it in, get a check, and then sign it over to the person that needs reimbursement.
They would not get a check. It would go into the club bank account.
Okay, then the club would. Now, I do have a couple of clubs in my division that do not have club bank accounts, only so they just use their personal ones. It's the whole Concur system is personal checking accounts, right?
Yes, individual checking accounts. That is correct. Okay,
thank you.
Michelle.
So I wanted to know about the area director, and I think I got the answer is that if you're an area director, you use your own bank account and set up Concur with connected to your own bank account. Is that correct?
Absolutely, that is correct.
Thank you.
Yes, there were two other people who raised hands that I can't see.
I had another question if I could. So for those incentives where a club has earned something, maybe the Excellence Award goals or something like that, and District 57 pushes those out as opposed to the club having to sign up for something or turn in something and claim it, those will automatically go to the Concur account for the treasurer on file, right?
That's
No. The thing is, we have to work that exact out, but we're going to have to notify the club that they've won this. And if they want the money, they have to click here and do the thing, because basically driving around to sign checks is just completely ridiculous right now with COVID. So we are going to be using this reimbursement system instead of signing checks. So it's still, they need to let us know, yes, we want that. And then they just fill out the form and it's pretty simple from there.
Okay,
But
so district cannot just send a check to a particular club for a reason. The club always has to claim the money.
Yeah, and even before, we still needed to know, and this Goggenbeer did so much work this past year, emailing every person to ask, what is the person's name? Where am I mailing this? So it's that same kind of thing. Like, we need to make sure we're sending the money to the right place. It's just now a digital format instead of her emailing them asking, who am I making a check out to?
And I can tell you that when we were doing the audit, Guggenbeer and I sat there on one side while the audit committee was doing their thing, and we did 90 checks in like 4 hours to get the right check, the right back information, and whatever. So it is an incredibly time-consuming piece. We love giving you guys money. I mean, that's my goal. But I think Concur will definitely make it an easy method and get your money faster as well.
And also accurately, because a lot of times checks get lost in the mail.
Yes.
It actually happens a lot.
Savitha, do you have a question? I see your hand up.
No, that was for some time ago when we were to raise our hands to see I have used Concur.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Oh, should I do something to bring it down?
You should be able to go back into your name. I think it says yeah, if you go into the participants, you can lower hand.
Oh, 1 second. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I was just looking.
Lower hand. Oh, I didn't know it was a toggle. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, anyone else?
Everyone's learning today.
Thank you, Vicki. I appreciate the thumbs up. So I'm going to ask a question. Are you all on board? If so, a thumbs up would be great. Yay.
All right, we're going to take that as a yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Linda. I know that could have been very dry, but I think you kept it moving. I really appreciate that.
You're
all
welcome.
Right, now we are going to, you guys are scaring me here. One of my kittens is crawling on something.
No, crawling on Linda's sweater. Linda's top.
Oh,
very funny. Very funny. I was like, oh my gosh, my cat.
No, that's my panther. Right. Thank you.
Now let's move it over to Dennis Dawson to talk about what worked and I guess what can we even do better when starting clubs in a pandemic. I never thought I would be saying those lines. Dennis, by the way, I just want to introduce, Dennis is not only an area director, but he's also our club extension chair. I'm very, very proud to have Dennis on our team. Dennis and Julie, if you want to jump in at any moment, also feel free. Let's give it up for Dennis. Woo!
Are you showing the slides?
Did you have slides that you wanted me to share?
Well, yeah, I had that one slide
okay,
that I added to you.
Let me go ahead and share. New clubs. Here we go.
There I am. Yay. So yes, as of yesterday, we're actually in the system. You can go up and find Club 7799155, Toastmasters of Autodesk. And I am thrilled to start this club with 43 members. How did we make this happen? Well, I should say we chartered with 40, but we've added 3 since we chartered. When I joined Autodesk, I realized, hey, this is a company that's got over 10,000 employees. That would probably be enough to sustain a Toastmasters club. And I just started checking around. Is there a Toastmasters club? And somebody hooked me into a Slack channel that was already there of people. It was named Toastmasters of Autodesk. They had tried to start a club, but they'd been unsuccessful. So I decided, bing, bang, boom, I'm going to get in here and build some buzz, get some talk going around this. There was a lightning talks session in the company. That's where people get up and they give 5-minute talks and 5-minute Q&A. I did a 5-minute talk about Toastmasters and how it had helped me professionally. That built the buzz. We got a lot of discussion going on in the Slack channel. Once I had about 40 email addresses, I started, oh, and somebody's present. after I had about 40 email addresses, I started sending emails. The first one I sent explained what Toastmasters is. The second one explained what the charges are, because the dues for Toastmasters are so low, it's actually a selling point to people. The next one I sent out described pathways and gave them links where they could find out about all 11 paths. The next email I sent out invited them to the demo meeting. At the demo meeting, I had Ashley Harkness as our evaluator. I had past area director, Katrina LaForce, as our speaker, because she's a very good, solid Toastmasters speaker, but she's not a world champion of public speaking. She's not going to be intimidating to the people. And so after the demo meeting, I really hoped that we would be able to charter that day. We only had 17 paid members. So I took that same speech, turned it into a commercial, and sent it out to the entire organization. And that's where we went from 17 to 40 people overnight. Those are the things I did well and did right. There were some things I did really wrong, and it kind of bit me, so I want to be sure you're aware of these things. The first thing is that when you charter a club, you actually use a different form to sign up your members. I didn't know this because I know from experience, first you have the demo meeting and get everybody excited, then you start working on the charter paperwork, which would be fine. It's just that when I did the charter paperwork, that's when they sent me the links to all the specialized forms. So I had to have everybody fill out an application already. I had everybody pay the money, and I based it on prorated dues. That was the second big mistake I made. And folks, don't make mistakes on the money. That's the one thing. If you overcharge, if you undercharge, people think, oh, what's wrong with these Toastmasters people? They don't know what they're doing. In this case, it happened to work out because what I should have charged was $45 for everybody, plus their $20 new member fee, plus $5 for the charter fee. That's what I should have done. Since I did the prorated dues, I only charged them half as much, and I did not want to go back hat in hand and beg them to pay the other $22.50. That's when I went to Autodesk and asked them if this one time they would make up that amount in the dues. They agreed. They paid $925. We were able to get all of those members into the program without charging them extra money. Can't emphasize enough, we have to get the money correct. So I hope that you all now know that the new member fee is always $20 plus $45 for 6 months dues. When you get to the first renewal period, that's when the prorated dues kick in. So ultimately, they would pay the same amount of money. It's just that you have to collect that $45 up front. What did I do wrong most of all? I flew solo. When I knew that I was going to try and start this club, I reached out to Julie and said, hey, Julie, I'm going to start a club. Do we have a new club committee? Do we have somebody who can help me with the demo meeting? And Julie said, well, actually, we haven't found those people yet. How would you like to be the club extension chair? And because I'm stupid, I always raise my hand and say yes. And once again, I jumped in with both feet, made some huge mistakes. So my final message to all of you is don't fly solo. Now I'm the guy who knows how to start a new club. I don't know all of the answers, but I knew more than I did when I started the Toastmasters of Autodesk. So I'd like everybody to feel excited about jumping in, starting clubs during this COVID time. This is not a great time to start community clubs. I get that. But it is a magnificent time to start corporate clubs. Go to every club in your area that's got 200 or more employees in one location. Everybody is spending all of their time on Zoom anyway. We are the experts at Zoom meetings. We can show these people how to have better meetings for their corporate functions and show them how to start a great corporate club. But Chuck Ballinger also tipped me off to another great idea, which is to start clubs around communities communities that already exist. So if you know of people who enjoy sailing, you can go into their sailing community and say, wow, you know, this would be a great group to start a Toastmasters club. You could have a whole club focused on sailing. Now, you couldn't do that if you were locked into a physical location. But if you go to a group that's got 1,000 members around the world and ask them, hey, why don't you start a Toastmasters club? 20 of them might be up for it. It could be around quilting. It could be a movies club where people come in and they give movie reviews. So think outside the box in terms of how a specialty club could be focused in this new COVID world. So thank you for your time. Beth, I'll give it back to you.
Okay. That was amazing. But before we let you off the hook, let's ask some Q&A. Who has questions? Don't be shy. I'm going to stop sharing so we can see some faces. Anyone got questions? Anyone have a hot lead? I know that Chuck already, whoa. Okay, I guess I just need to wait. All right, let's go Lisa, and then Kate, Elliot, Chuck.
So my question, Dennis, is really a request. Is you gave great information there. Would love to see all of that available on the D57 in terms of what all those things, steps and emails and things that you did are readily, as I like to call it, Betty Crockerable, is we just take it and make it our own. And then I do have a club that I've started working with last year and then we went shelter in place, that I will reach out again with that information, but I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if there was if the list of new potential new clubs is current, or can we work from that list, or should we just go ahead and still come up with solid leads? Solid leads being a company over 200 employees and desire to start a club.
If you've got a company that's over 200 employees, definitely reach out to me, and also Ashley Harkness.
Okay.
I know that he's no longer officially responsible for that, but he's also the man who knows.
Right.
Yes.
There's a list of clubs, I guess, waiting to be addressed, and I just didn't know if it was current or not. So,
Julie, do you have any insight on that?
I don't have a current list up yet. I'm working on that. I've gotten a few leads from Toastmasters that I'll be adding on there, and then asking for obviously for division directors to send me some potential leads, not necessarily someone you've already reached out to, just someone you think would be a good lead. So we want to do both. We want you to pursue, and we want you to recommend.
I have a question. Sorry, this is Savita. Corporate clubs, I understand, we can do them virtually. But if you are opening a community club, do you consider their geography for the future? Because in the future, we will meet in person. Or would you encourage a very global online club? How would that work for a new club?
Let me tell you what I did in terms of Autodesk. Now, I happened to luck out. C24 happens to be around San Rafael, and Autodesk World Headquarters happens to be in San Rafael. That's where I chartered the club. However, when we meet, I know that we're going to be meeting in San Francisco. So ultimately, the physical club may switch over to District 4, but I don't want that to impact my record as the area director. I want to get credit for forming that club. We have a unique opportunity right now with COVID that you can charter a club and put it physically anywhere in the world. We meet online, and then when things change and we decide that we're going to go back to meeting in person, that's when the location of the club is going to matter. However, I am willing to bet that when COVID goes away, if it ever does completely, hybrid clubs are going to become a norm in Toastmasters and not an exception any longer, because we found out that, hey, this works really well.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you. Because I'm getting interest, at least from the youth perspective, from all over the country. And I got a ping from Canada too. So I was wondering what would be restricting me from encouraging that?
So Savita, this is probably a bigger discussion. We only have about 4 minutes before I need to wrap this up. So Savita, maybe you can take it offline with Julie and Dennis, just to maybe email back and forth.
Sure.
All right. Is there any other club questions before we start? Ellie doesn't have any though. I see a bunch of other faces. Go on, guys. Just talk.
If I could add something to Dennis's great presentation, he also should be considered a master for a great commercial for Toastmasters. He took on Doodly, which is a fascinating app, and expanded it with his own drawings, came up with an amazing plug or pitch for Toastmasters that we could all use, I think, using this Doodly app. The other thing about the broader international concept that he mentioned, we're thinking about starting a current events, if you will, club. And we would like to get people from all over the country. And we probably will stay as a Zoom-only club. We don't really feel at this point in our exploratory committee that we need to have in-person meetings. So that's another thought.
So I would say that still when you charter, use your location. Otherwise, it's going to be an undistricted club and none of us get any credit. Or if someone wants to be a mentor, I don't know how that works, but just pick your home city. Dennis?
Yeah, if you're an undistricted club, then your members can't participate in the international speech contest, for example. So there are all kinds of disadvantages to being an undistricted club. We want to start it in a district, even though people are phoning in from all over.
Right, right.
All right, let's go to Jeff. And then I'm going to move everyone to their breakout. So I hope division directors are ready.
Just real quick, Dennis, thank you for giving that speech. You mentioned don't fly solo. As the area director, I've got someone who wants to fly solo to get their club back up and running. And I want to step in and help, so they're not doing it alone, but they were kind of pushing back on me a little bit. What would you advise?
I advise that you ask them to share their plans with you and work with them on the plan that they want to implement, give them a chance to implement it, and let them come back to you with the areas that aren't working. I think it's great if they want to take it on for themselves, but you need to monitor it to be sure that they're actually making progress. And if they're not, you don't beat them up. You say, hey, it looks like you could use additional help. I've got people I know in the district who can come help you. So it's not just Jeff pushing his way in, but bringing in someone else as well who can help them in a specific area.
Okay. Yeah, I've already got my division director helping as well. So thank you.
Great.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, everyone. Dennis, awesome job. I am just blown away. 43 members. So let's see who's the next club. Is it going to have 45 members? We can outdo Dennis, huh? All right. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. And I just want to thank all the presenters today. Everyone did a really, really good job keeping this a fun, lively event. I have a few quick reminders before I hit the breakout buttons. Assign your proxies. Go do it now. If you're a VPE president, you can do that right now. Encourage your clubs. Schedule your visit. If you haven't scheduled your visit yet, it's got to be done, guys. It takes a long time. That paperwork is a bear. And then our next TLI, August 15th. Make sure your club officers are registered. Remember the award. If you get every officer trained, and the best way to get it done is to send them to TLI. Next DECM is going to be September 5th. We're going to have a lot of really great things. If you have things you want to get trained on, you have a session you really want to hear, email the trio. We're happy to hear and make this a fun, engaging time. And our business meeting is on September 14th, and we are going to talk about the budget. Ooh, very exciting. All right, and I'm now going to click the button. You guys have 20 minutes. This is the thing. You guys have this 20 minutes. It's your time to do planning, talk about clubs that are struggling, talk about club leads, talking about how you're going to run your meetup at the next TLI, whatever you need to do in that 20 minutes. At the end of that, please feel free to leave the session. We're all going to be in trio training at that time. But I would love the division directors to please email me a quick, brief summary of what your progress has been so far. What are your blockers? If you need help, please let us know. We're here to help. And now I'm going to say goodbye from the trio. We're going to head over to our training. I'll stay for a few minutes just to make sure everyone gets in their rooms. but I'm going to now send you all to your breakout room. So please click accept on the breakout room. Michelle, you have a question? No. Yes. You have a question, Michelle? No, she doesn't. All right. All right. There's people who are left in here. Is there anyone who wants to go to a specific breakout room that did not go there?
I didn't get one for D, Division D,
Okay.
Cynthia.
I think I assigned you, and I think you may have left and come back.
Oh, okay.
Or something like that, because I remember assigning you.
I'd like to join.
Oh.
Cynthia.
Okay. All right. Let me see. I got to try to remember how to add someone to a meeting in progress. Join. No, I don't want to join there. How do I do this, guys? Does anyone remember? I think I remember. I did this during my tech host. Okay. Cynthia should be gone. Let me send Ed. Ed, you're going to D?
Yes, please.
All right. Linda, do you want to go somewhere?
No, I'm going to say goodbye.
All right. Have a great afternoon.
Thank
you, Linda. Good job. Really good job, Linda.
Thank you.
I stayed awake the whole time.
Good.
All right.
That sounds
Bill,
like, okay.
Bill,
Bye.
where do you want to go? I can't hear you, Bill. Bencat, where do you want to go?
I'm on the way out, so I just wanted to congratulate you on a good meeting. I enjoyed it. I stayed this long. I think I can skip the division huddle.
You know what? It's totally optional. You can do whatever you want, Bencat. I appreciate your service. Have a great Saturday.
Absolutely. You too. Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Venkat.
All right, Bill, do you want to go to a room?
How about Division H, please? Thanks, Beth.
All right, I'm going to send you to Division H.
Thank you.
Enjoy your afternoon. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, Julie, you and I are the last ones. So Julie, I'm going to go take a break and just pray everyone is going to be okay. But I'll see you in training, all right? I can't hear you, but congratulations on your new club, Julie. Like, this is amazing.
Yes, I know. He was working on that before I took over the role.
It takes time. It really does. But you can celebrate that.
Kind of why I had no idea.
You got to share it. You got to share that with your people today. All right, I'll see you later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.